Hi everyone, and welcome to the 7th grade book. This is chapter 2, section 7, discount. So we're going to be working with like store discounts, money. So you want to keep that in mind as you're giving me your final answer. This is going to be on textbook page 160 through 162. I'm only showing you this page so that you can get to the right chapter. You want to make sure that you're following along with me as I go through the examples. All right, so you want to be sure that you are thinking and listening while you're doing this work. Some of this work is confusing. You want to definitely make sure you have colors. Many of you have been really slacking on the colors. You need to be using colors, especially with this section. Okay, so let's get started. You're going to be first looking at textbook page 160, and you want to head your paper like you see here, 7.2.7, discounts. Textbooks page 160 and name, date, and period in the top right corner. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to write down this vocabulary information here. It says a discount or a markdown. It'll be called either one of those. Excuse me, is the amount by which the regular price of an item is reduced. So you've all been to a store before where you see that something is 25% off or 30% off. So that discount or markdown is what that is. Now you want to look at the sale price. The sale price is actually represented by the regular price of the item minus the discount. So the discount's usually given in a percent. You then calculate the percent into a decimal, and then you're going to find out how much to subtract from the original price. So now let's go ahead and look at example 1. You have a DVD, which is regular priced at $22, and it's 25% off the regular price. So now the sale price is what we are going to solve for. So there's going to be the first method, which is to subtract the discount from the regular price. So first thing you want to do is change the percent to a decimal. And I've reminded you PDL, percent to decimal left. So 25% becomes 0.25. Then you're going to need to multiply the decimal by the original price, which is 22 times the 0.25. And then you get $5.50. So that's the amount of money that can be taken off. That's the amount of the discount. That's what you found there. Now it says to subtract the discount from the original price. Because when you find that $5.50, that's not the price of the item. That's actually what 25% of the whole price is. So in method 2, I'm going to show you a little bit easier way to do this. But right now, you need to take the $5.50 and you need to subtract it from the original price. So you have 22 minus $5.50. And that should be $16.50. And again, you want to add that little bubble there that says discount dollars. Basically what that means is the discount in the dollar amount. So there's the discount as a percentage, and then there's the discount as the dollar amount. All right, so now, as promised, let's take a look at method 2. So for method 2, it says to subtract the percent of discount from 100%. So remember before how I just told you that the $5.50 that we calculated was 25% of the whole cost? Well, why don't we cut ahead and make it easier for us and actually subtract out that percent ahead of time? So if we subtract the discount percent from 100%, that is the percent that we pay. So 100% minus the 25% discount gives us 75%. Then again, you need to change the percent to decimal so that 75% becomes 0.75. As we go through this video, I'm going to stop reminding you of that because it should be second nature by now. Then the next step is going to be to multiply the original price times the decimal that you just got. So let's go ahead and do that here. And you get an answer of $16.50, which as you can see was the same answer from the previous page. So I wrote a little note here that says I would go with method 2, but use the one that works for you. So during this video, I'm going to switch back and forth so that you can see the difference between the two methods. Now the got it, you want to go ahead and pause the video now, and you want to read the got it problem, and you're going to write the important information. So, the important information is the $42, 15% off of the original. What's the sales price? You want to go ahead and do that on your own first. All right, welcome back. So the first thing you should have done was taken 100%, which is the total, and subtracted that 15% discount. That 85%, once again, remember, that actually represents the percentage that you're going to pay. Now we're going to change that to a decimal, 0.85, and now we're going to multiply 0.85 times 42. So we get 35.7. Now there's a reason why I wrote it as 35.7 because that's what you're going to be getting when you get your calculator. Now keep in mind, I want you to not use a calculator all the way up until the point where you have that 0.85 in red. Then for that last piece in purple, you can use the calculator. This is the answer that will show in your calculator. However, this is very important. This is money we're working with, so your final answer needs to be $35.70 with a dollar sign and a 0 on the end. So this is very, very important. You need to make sure that you understand this because you're going to be getting numbers on your calculator and you're going to have to be the one responsible for rounding those. Now you want to look at textbook page 161. On 161, we're looking at example 2. It says a boogie board that has a regular price of $69 is on sale at a 35% discount. What is the sale price with 7% tax? So now we've got basically a two-step problem here. Many steps, but two different concepts. We're subtracting the discount and then we're adding the tax. Now, just so you understand, the tax gets added to the total after the discount has been applied. So you wouldn't want to pay tax on an item when it was full price. So that's why you wouldn't do that. So the first step, excuse me, is going to be to pull out the information. So our original price is $69. Then we have a 35% discount. And we're looking for our sales tax, or our sale price rather, and then the tax is 7%, and then we'll get a final price. So you do want to have these things listed off to the side. I think it'll just make it a little easier for you to organize the information. So step 1 here, it says to find the amount of discount. The money amount is what I'm talking about. So this will say the original times the discount decimal. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Remember early on, I told you that I was going to... Early on, sorry, it just kept going and going. I told you that I was going to stop explaining that you needed to change percent to decimal. Now I'm just going to call it the discount decimal, 0.35. When you multiply 69 by 0.35, you get $24.15. So that's the amount of money you're going to have to take off of the original price. So that's why for step 2, it says find the sale price. The original price minus the discount is going to be equal to the sale price. So you're going to see that here. With 69, whoops, there we go. 69 minus 24.15 is going to give us that 44.85. Now the 44.85 is going to be important because now that's what we're going to be working with. So now we're going to take the sales price times the decimal tax, and that will give us the dollar amount. Now when I say the decimal tax, remember the tax here is 7%. So when you convert that to a decimal, it's going to be 0.07. So notice here we have 44.85, which was the sale price from step 2. Then we have the decimal tax, which went from 7% to 0.07 because we did pedal percent to decimal left, and it's always 2 spaces. And we got a total of $3.14. Now you have to be really good with your vocabulary here, and remember that a tax gets added to your total and a discount gets subtracted. So now that you have the tax of $3.14, now you're going to add the total tax, which was $3.14, to the sales price, to the sale price to get the final price. So now let's go ahead and show that here. And you've got $3.14 plus $44.85 is going to equal $47.9895. Again, there's a reason why I showed you this funky answer like this. This is what you're going to get on your calculator, and you want to make sure that you, that's crazy. Probably shouldn't have gotten that. Anyhow, it might have been from my previous problem, so I'll show you how to do that. But you want to make sure that you give it to me in the correct format for money. So this would be 47.99. So now we're going to look at method 2. Method 2 isn't a method that's explained in the book, but if you understood the concept where we added the 100% plus, let's say, a 15% for the markup, and we just multiplied it by 1.15, then you'll understand this method a little easier. So now we're going to pull out the information just like we did before. So I've done that off to the side here. And our very first step here with this type of problem, this type of method rather, is going to be to subtract the percent discount from 100. So I'm approaching this problem just like we did before. 100% minus 35% is going to give me the percent that I'm going to pay, which is 65%. Now I'm going to change that percent to decimal. So I get my 0.65. as you can see here. And then I'm going to take the sale price, actually the sale price is going to be equal to the original price of $69 times the 0.65. So now we have that and we get $44.85. Once you get $44.85, that's the sale price. This is the price that it would be if there was no tax on it. So this is the price that it was when we were just doing one-step problems in the first section of this. Now you want to take the $44.85 and you're even actually just treating the 7% sort of like a markup, like we did in our last section. So sales tax is calculated after the discount is applied, so we've already talked about that. So now you're going to add 100% plus the tax. Now when I say 100%, I mean 100% of your sale price, because your new price, remember, is $44.85. So now you're going to have 100% plus 7% gives you 107%. Then you're going to change that percent to a decimal like I've done here, 1.07, because you're paying 100% of the sale price plus the tax percent. And now you're going to multiply the sale price by the decimal. Now I did go on to another, and that's the sale price up there. You want to make sure to have that. I did go on to another page after this, just to make sure I had enough room. So now I've got $44.85 times 1.07, because that was 100% of the sales price plus 7% tax. So now on the next page, you are going to see, all right, on the next page, don't copy all this stuff that you see on top. Everything that's on the lined paper you should already have, because it was just a screenshot from the prior screen. So now we've got $44.85 times 1.07, and then we're going to get the answer of 9895. So this is where I got that answer from when it looked a little funky. So now the calculator says 47.9895, but you say 47.99. And in yellow, I've underlined the 8 because that's where we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, because this is money. And then we're going to use the 9 as the indicator to do so. Because that 9 is 5 or above, we're going to change the 8 to a 9. All right, now we're going to look at got it for B. So the got it for B is up here in the corner, and it says a CD that has a regular price of $15.50 is on sale at a 25% discount. What is the sale price with 6.5% tax? So now we have the original price, we have the discount and the discount decimal. We've got the sale price that we don't know, the tax that we're going to have to add, and then the final price. Ooh. All right, so I caught my error. Thank goodness I caught it before I taught the whole section. But the plus tax was supposed to be a it was supposed to be 6.5% tax, not 7. So I had to go back and rework the problem. Excuse me. So it goes to 0.065, because remember you have to move 2 spaces to the left, and then you're going to get your final price there. So I'm going to show it to you the way that I did it, but there's also the method with the book. So whichever one works easiest for you is fine. So for the first step, we took 100% minus the 25%. We got 75%, because we will pay 75% of the original price. Then we take the original price, which was $15.50, times 0.75, because that's our decimal tax there. And then that gives us, I'm sorry, not our decimal tax, sorry about that, our discount. It's what we pay after the discount's applied. So we pay 75%. So 15.50 times 0.75 is going to give us 11.625. We want to round that to 11.63, or $11.63. This is the price that we would pay if there was no tax. Okay, so this is the dollar amount for an item before tax is applied. So now we're going to take the 100%. When I say 100%, I mean the 100% of what we now know to be the sale price, which is $11.63. So we're going to take 100% and we're going to add the 6.5% sales tax. So now we get 106.5%. Change that to a decimal, 1.065. This shows that we pay the whole sales price plus 6.5% tax. So now when you do that, you're going to get 12.38595. And again, I put that there so that you could see the rounding. Now, if you did it this way, you would have gotten $12.39. If you did it the way the book does it, where you calculate the discount, subtract it, then you calculate the sales tax, and then you add it, If you did it that way, then because you rounded earlier on, you have $12.38 as your answer. So I went ahead and wrote a little note here on the bottom. If you use the book method, $12.38. So, all right, now you're looking at example 3. So example 3 says a cell phone is on sale for 30% off. If the sale price is $239.89, what is the original price? So the sales price is 100% minus 30%, or 70% of the original price. So we're going to use an equation to find the missing value. All right, so what we see here is we've got what we know. We know that the percent paid was 100% minus the 30% discount. So that sales price, the purple one, is actually representative of 70%. So now we know that the part, which is the sale price, the $239.89, equals the percent decimal, so that's the 0.7, times the whole, which we're solving for. So now we're just going to plug in those values where you see them here. So you see the $239.89 goes with the part, the 0.7 goes with the decimal, and the P goes with whole. Because you don't want to use O for original, that wouldn't be good.